Thorstein Veblen, The Theory of the Leisure Class. Step into the fascinating world of Thorstein Veblen's The Theory of the Leisure Class, a groundbreaking work that dissects the distinctions between societal classes and the implications thereof. The book explores the origins of the leisure class and its impact on social order, as well as how this class has evolved throughout history. Key themes include the role of predatory societies in shaping social hierarchies, the linkage between wealth and status, and the influence of conspicuous consumption on individuals and society as a whole. Dive in and unravel the intricacies of societal development and the perennial quest for honor and distinction.
The origin of leisure class and private property. The leisure class has its roots in ancient civilizations, where it was prevalent in feudal Europe and Japan. Predatory cultures value and reward violence, with men taking on honorable, non-productive work like hunting and warfare. Women and menials, on the other hand, did most of the productive labor. Private property ownership may have started with the ownership of women, who were treated as property. This led to a distinction between those who work productively and those who do not, thus creating a leisure class. Productive work was deemed ignominious and shameful, to be avoided by those who pretend to dignity and honor. This summary explores the theme of leisure class and how it ties to the origins of private property. The obsession with wealth and status. The desire for wealth and status is the driving force behind the accumulation of property. People are not merely interested in satisfying their physical needs but seek to emulate the rich and attain distinction through the accumulation of wealth. The institution of private property inspires competition and envy among individuals, leading to an unquenchable thirst for wealth. Wealth is seen as a symbol of power and honor, and monetary standards determine cultural preferences and tastes. The more expensive something is, the more valuable it becomes, regardless of practicality or usefulness. Ultimately, the pursuit of wealth and status comes before subsistence, leading to a cultural obsession with invidious distinction and conspicuous consumption. The honor of leisure. The pursuit of honor and wealth in ancient Greek society was marked by a taboo on productive labor, which was considered inferior. To achieve honor, one had to demonstrate a life of leisure, free from manual work and drudgery. The markers of status in such a society were trophies of leisure, including mastery of languages, music, and fashion, as well as knowledge of sports and hunting. Such non-productive pursuits demonstrated one's superior social status and means. This idea of leisure as a mark of honor still pervades modern society, where work is often viewed as a necessary evil, something to be endured in pursuit of other, more noble goals. However, this mindset is not without its downsides. The glorification of leisure over work can undermine the value of productive labor and lead to a society where success is measured by the accumulation of useless skills rather than useful contributions. The importance of leisure in civilized society. In today's society, there is a common complaint about the decline of manners and civilization. The root of that decline lies in the fact that as society becomes more industrious, people spend less time on leisure. However, mastering good manners requires investment of time and effort into practice and study, which can only be achieved through leisure. Possessing knowledge of the proprieties is also linked to status and rank, which are maintained by a leisure class. Conspicuous leisure also factors into the change in women's occupation over time. In ancient times, they were only regarded as property whose occupation was to bear children and produce articles of consumption. But as leisure increased in importance as a status indicator, it also became a woman's occupation. Her leisure proved that her master had so much wealth that he did not require productive labor from her. This eventually led to households hiring servants, as the increasing responsibilities of maintaining a great house were too much for the owners to handle on their own. As a badge of leisure, the possession of elegant dress is also significant, as it implies that the wearer has both wealth and status. Conspicuous consumption and status symbols. In the book, The author explores the distinctions between men and women in predatory cultures' social behaviors, where men demonstrate their status by consuming goods that are not necessary for sustenance, such as meat, drugs, and intoxicating beverages. Women, on the other hand, are expected to produce and prepare food for men. The author argues that conspicuous consumption is a way for men to display their status and reputation, but it requires a great deal of wealth to maintain. Therefore, men rely on their wives and servants to consume vicariously, which builds their master's reputation. The author also highlights how shame and status divisions play a crucial role in distinguishing classes of service, where the highest status accrues to those who engage in those activities associated with the master's most honorable occupations, and productive labor remains the task of lower status servants. The book sheds light on how consumption is integral to the gentlemanly life and how the ability to consume goods and services brings status and reputation. The burden of conspicuous consumption. Society's obsession with conspicuous consumption has led to rising standards of living that make it increasingly difficult for people to maintain their consumption levels. This has resulted in a curious twist in the role of women, who are expected to consume conspicuously but are still considered property. Despite advances in industry, the rising standard of consumption has led to an increase in working hours and a shrinking birth rate. Most wealth goes towards maintaining appearances, leaving little room for family or real wealth accumulation.
In conclusion, the theory of the leisure class offers a profound examination of the leisure class role in shaping society, economy, and culture. By revealing the deep-seated motivations behind the accumulation of wealth and the pursuit of status, Veblen sheds light on how these factors have contributed to the development of social hierarchies and cultural norms. The book highlights the importance of conspicuous consumption in maintaining social order and the implications it has on individuals within various social strata. Ultimately, Veblen's insights will leave you pondering the extent to which our drive for honor and distinction continues to shape modern society and impact our everyday lives.